Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck list. Nothing like being sick and narrating a sick game, with Fred winning the die roll and starting us off. He draws, plays a mountain, and passes. Jazz just plays a spectator seating. Rob's land for turn is a tapped Seaside Citadel, and he ships it. Corwin also plays a Foreboding Ruins, which comes in tapped, and he passes. Fred plays a mountain, and ships it. Jazz draws, plays a Vault of Champions, which comes in untapped, and casts a Dolmen Gate. Rob plays a Spire of Industry, and pays 2 mana for Beastcaller Savant. Corwin plays a Swamp, and he casts Flush Out. He shuffles it back in, and passes turn. Fred's land for turn is Shizo, and he's then able to cast a Stingslinger. Jazz plays a Luxury Suite, and casts Rising of the Day. Rob draws but doesn't have a land, and instead casts a Wishclaw Talisman. Corwin plays a Tower of the Magistrate, and casts a Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind, and ships it after that. Fred drops a Reflecting Pool, and then casts Grub. Moving to combat, the Stingslinger goes at Jazz for 2, and he passes after that. Jazz plays an Exotic Orchard, and casts Leonin Warleader. Because Rising of the Day gives haste, he's able to swing the Warleader at Corwin, and makes 2 cat tokens going at Fred. They both take their hits, and Jazz passes. Rob draws and activates his Wishclaw Talisman, donating it to Jazz. He finds a card, and then casts Soul Ring, and passes. Corwin's land for turn is a Barbarian Ring, and he casts his own Soul Ring. He then follows up with Rowan, and then casts Electro, and ships it to Fred. Fred's land drop is a Castle Embereth, and he then activates the Stingslinger. This has him blighting on it, and each opponent takes 2. And Fred then casts a Reactor Raid, sacrificing the Stingslinger to draw 2. He passes after that. Jazz draws, playing out a Talisman of Indulgence, and then casts Isshin. Jazz then swings the Warleader and 2 cats at Corwin, making more cat tokens coming in and attacking Fred. Full disclosure, for whatever reason, Jazz forgets that Isshin doubles the Warleader trigger, so he's only adding 2, and this is pretty much the case for the rest of the game. They each then take their damage, and Jazz then passes. Rob plays a Crossroad Village, naming Red. And he then casts a Seagate Loremaster, and passes. Corwin draws, tapping his Barbarian Ring to take 1 damage, and then activates Rowan. Jazz, in response to her ability being on the stack, casts Deadly Rollick, and targets Electro. He's removed, and Corwin then continues by casting a reduced costing Ganax. He makes a treasure as it comes in, and since he has haste, swings him at Jazz. Jazz takes the hit, and Corwin's second main phase has him casting Saw in Half on Ganax. He gets 2 copies, only one of which survives due to Legend Rule, but he gets to make a total of 5 treasure tokens. Corwin then casts Spiderpunk, which enters a counter from Riot, and passes. Fred's turn has him drawing, and moving to his main phase, he pays 1 red to transform Grub. He then continues by casting an Elder Auntie, and then goes to combat. He swings Grub at Corwin, and blights onto the Elder, making a token copy of her as well, swinging at Corwin. Corwin takes the hit, and Fred passes. Jazz draws and plays a mountain. His main phase has him activating the Wishclaw Talisman. He removes a counter and gives it back to Rob, and then goes to tutor for a card. The card is... and as he comes in, sacrifices a cat token, which draws him a card and drains Rob for 1. Jazz then swings Sephiroth at Rob, and his War Leader and all of his cat tokens at Corwin. The War Leader once more makes only 2 cats Jazz, and he then resolves Sephiroth's doubled attack trigger to draw 2 cards and drain Corwin for 2 after he sacrifices 2 tokens. Corwin then chump blocks the War Leader, but otherwise him and Rob take the rest of the hits. After that, Jazz passes turn. Rob draws and activates his Seagate Loremaster, drawing 2. He then plays an Adventurer's Inn, gaining 2 life, and then casts Patchwork Banner, naming ally. Rob then continues by casting Kazul Warlord, and as it comes in, puts a +1/+1 counter onto all of his allies. Corwin draws, but once more just has to pass the turn. Fred draws and plays Midgar from his exile zone, and then casts a Siege Gang Commander. He swings Grub at Rob, and on attack, blights onto the Siege Gang Commander, making a copy also swinging at him, which also makes him 3 more Goblin tokens as the copy comes in. Rob then takes the hit for both, and Fred then passes turn. Jazz has a Shattered Sanctum, and he then casts Voice of Victory. He follows it up with Adam Pakal, and then swings the War Leader at Corwin, and everything else at Rob. The War Leader makes 2 cats, again, Jazz, which he then sacrifices to Sephiroth, draining Fred for 2 this time, and drawing 2. Adam Pakal then makes him 3 Gnome tokens because he adds 1 counter to her the first time, and then a second counter the second time, and the Voice of Victory makes 4 Warrior tokens, which also go at Rob. Rob blocks Sephiroth with the Warlord, and trades, while Corwin just takes the hit from the War Leader. After that, Jazz passes. Rob draws and in his main phase removes the last counter from Wishclaw Talisman, donating the now dead artifact to Fred. He goes to find and then casts an Avatar's Wrath, choosing no creatures to be safe. Everything gets airbended, and Rob then passes turn. Corwin just draws, casts Treasonous Ogre, and passes. Fred's turn has him casting Goblin King, and then a Black Market Connections, and passes. Jazz draws and plays a Ganjo, and then casts Hero of Bladehold. He follows it up by casting Kaiser, and then swings both of his creatures at Fred since they have haste. He layers it to make 2 soldier tokens from the Hero of Bladehold first, and then sacrifices one of them to make 2 more tokens with Kaiser. He then applies Battle Cry, and all the tokens go at Fred. Fred takes a total of 15, and Jazz then passes turn. Rob draws and casts a Harbaz Druid, and follows up by casting Earth King's Lieutenant. He then continues by casting the Seagate Loremaster from exile, since he can now, and passes to Corwin. Corwin draws, plays out Talisman of Indulgence, and then casts Rowan from exile for only 2 colorless. He continues by casting Spiderpunk, and he comes in with haste this time, and he swings it and the Treasonous Ogre at Jazz. Since Jazz has the most life, Corwin adds a counter from Dethrone, and Jazz then takes 5, and Corwin passes. Fred draws and pays 2 life to Black Market Connections to draw again. He plays out a Nykthos, and then casts Grub from exile for 2 colorless, followed by the Siege Gang Commander for 2, and then the Elder Auntie for 2. With Grub entering, Fred returns Stingslinger, and Fred then sacrifices a token to help cast Diabolic Intent. After that, he passes turn. Jazz draws and plays a Swamp, and then recasts Isshin, Adam Pakal, Voice of Victory, and the Leonin War Leader from exile for 2 colorless each. He then moves to combat and swings everything at Rob. He gets to make a bunch of tokens, and this time correctly adds 4 cats from the War Leader, sending them at Corwin. And more importantly, gets 2 Kaiser triggers. He sacrifices a token to the first to deal 17 damage to take out Fred. He sacrifices another soldier to Kaiser's copy trigger and deals 16 to Corwin this time. Moving to blocks, Rob and Corwin don't have enough to survive, and Jazz wins the game. Game review time. So I think this is one of the few games that I've seen where sharing information with the table would have been helpful. I think had Rob known that Fred had the Goblin King in his hand, he might not have board wiped right away. With the Goblin King granting Mountain Walk, Jazz was in a lot of trouble, especially when Grub would have created an extra copy, turning all those tokens into 3/3s. There were also a few other misplays, including the Sephiroth getting taken out because of the Dolmen Gate, which I'm just going to chalk up to people being nervous for being on camera. Corwin unfortunately got targeted very hard. His Rowan deck has a certain reputation, and despite the fact that he told the table that this was a powered down dragon version, it still elicited the same effect. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.